Just hours ago, Senator Chuck Grassley sent the White House comms team into scramble mode. He dropped what is known as an FD 1023 form, and it details how the Bidens allegedly coerced the Burisma CEO to pay them millions to get rid of the Ukrainian prosecutor who was investigating the company back in 2016. Now, the FBI interview detailed inside was of a highly credible source who said that Burisma hired Hunter Biden to protect the U.S. through his dad from all kind of problems. Now, I'll let Joe Biden explain what happened next.
I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting $1 billion. I said, you're not getting $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a got fired.
It looks like someone got money. Joining me now, Jonathan Turley, professor of law at GW and Fox News contributor. Professor, after receiving information from the fraud, Christopher Steele, the FBI filed for surveillance warrants. But after the allegations from this source, no such moves. Essentially just dropped it. Very interesting.
Right. It is interesting. Thank you, Laura. The fascinating thing about this story is it gets worse by the day. You know, one of the more interesting things that we saw in recent weeks was Bill Barr being interviewed. And Barr said that he never shut down this investigation. But he also added that he sent it to a U.S. attorney's office that he said found facts that the FBI overlooked. Now, that alone was sort of chilling. You know, the FBI has a source saying that Biden is accepting millions of dollars. And that we now know that this source reportedly said that this was money to be paid to Hunter for the protection from his dad. I mean, you can't get more serious than that. And yet, when Barr sent it to the U.S. Attorney's Office, which is not there to investigate crimes, he said they found additional material that the FBI overlooked. It was then sent to Delaware, and there it appears to have died. And so there are so many questions that we need to have answered of why this took such a circuitous route, why the FBI didn't fully investigate, what did the U.S. Attorney's Office find in addition, but most importantly, what happened? Why did it go to Delaware and was never seen again?
Well, the whistleblowers yesterday, Jonathan, were asked about this particular form. Watch this.
The team that was in charge of investigating the Biden family for tax crimes never received the FBI document that alleged Joe Biden was involved in a bribery scheme.
For the IRS investigators on the case, the answer is no.
There is things that are contained on that document that could further corroborate other information.
And now we find in the document that apparently the source, described as highly credible, said that the prosecutor has many text messages and recordings to show that he was coerced by the Bidens to make these payments, to try to hold that prosecutor off against the company Burisma in Ukraine. Text messages and documents.
That's right, Laura. The other thing about this document is that it dovetails perfectly with what Comer and other chairmen have found, also including the recent disclosures from Ways and Means, about how money went to the Biden family. The document refers to how they were not supposed to send money to the, quote, big guy, a term we've seen in other files as referencing President Biden. But it said that the Bidens preferred to use a labyrinth of different accounts, different corporations to hide the money. Well, these committees have put together a detailed account of just layers upon layers of corporations and accounts used, and it doesn't seem like there's any purpose to this complexity except to hide these transfers of money. And so the most disturbing thing about the document is that it mirrors what was recently released by these committees looking at the actual transactions from these banks.
Well, at this point, given everything we have, should the Attorney General appoint some type of special counsel, independent counsel, to get to the bottom of this, Jonathan? I mean, I'm not a big fan of independent counsels personally, but what about that?
Well, not only has there been an unassailable case for a special counsel for 2 years, Garland has proved the need for a special counsel. Every decision he has made has been against giving transparency and affording action to these allegations. I mean, the record of the FBI shows precisely why we need an independent special counsel. The reluctance of Garland to make that appointment is baffling at best. I mean, the president is all over these files. There's references to his receiving a potential cut, a percentage of some of these deals. The president also stands contradicted. You know, yesterday, Representative Goldman tripped the wire in the middle of the hearing and actually got a witness to say, yeah, Hunter spoke to the president about his business dealings. That's saying that the president's been lying for 2 years.
Well, Trump's impeached for a phone call, and you get all these transactions and all these documentary evidence. And it's like, no, we're not doing anything. Professor, great to see you. Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.